Rev Jesse Jackson, Gospel Herald, CitySportsReport.com, and it's my honor to be here with the Reverend Jesse Jackson. Reverend Jackson, how are you doing today?
Well, it's an exciting part of the year because there are relatively few injuries. As the season wears on, it's so much wear and tear on the body. It's exciting to look at, but the body just can't take this night after night after night. But to see the guys healthy and with a good attitude, it's a good thing to see.
Now, you're a big sports fan. Who are some of the NBA teams and players you grew up watching?
Earl Monroe. Watching Wilt, Connie Hawkins, Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell. I watch all the guys, and many of them were classmates. Watched just at that time, the Philadelphia and New York were producing all the guys in L.A., but the game has become so nationalized now until you don't know where the star's coming from. I mean, that was really kind of before Michael's day. I just wish people could have seen Connie Hawkins at his day. Because Connie really, he was kind of the godfather for the Dr. J era comes after Connie Hawkins. Right. There's nothing like trying to eat and get one of these Connie Hawkins, Dr. J conversations.
So who are some of your favorite players to watch today?
Derrick Rose. I watched Derrick in high school. Okay. Since he's about ninth grade, you can tell he had that extra pep in his step. Jabbar became the same high school. Chicago keeps on producing some pretty great athletes, particularly basketball players.
So this is Gospel Herald. So you had the honor of having one of the greatest men to walk the face of the earth be your mentor. What was Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. like as a man?
First of all, he was a powerful intellectual. He thought thoroughly and deeply. Dr. King finished high school at 15. He finished college at 19. He finished seminary at 22 and has his PhD at 26. And while he carried himself as a kind of practical guy, which he was an awfully strong intellectual. But he applied his knowledge unto action. And that's kind of what made him different. Most guys, that kind of education would tend to not be as applied as much as he did. I mean, this guy, he had the Riverside Church, Boston University type education, and yet he was with the garbage workers in Memphis and everything in between. And at the end, he gave it all up, and he wouldn't have had it any other way. I mean, he died with his shoes on, fighting for poor people. And in some sense, that's how we measure character, how we treat the least of these.
What was your biggest inspiration in turning to Christ and becoming a man of the Lord?
Well, kind of born in the church, grew up in the church. My mother was in the choir, father was a trustee, so it's church orientation. I came onto the full knowledge of Christ as a child in one sense, but then I went to seminary. That's when I was able to see Jesus born, under questionable circumstances, born under death warrant, born poor, went to Egypt as a refugee, came back and never stopped fighting for poor people. His ministry is defined by how you treat the least of these. He's right there in my life. So the Jesus of Galilee, not the Jesus of Constantine, the Jesus of Galilee who kept his foot on the pedal for poor people is the Jesus that is worth worshiping.
Final question. When is a time in your life when your faith, when your belief in Jesus Christ was most important to you?
Well, faith tests keep coming. I mean, faith tests keep on coming, and you have to, live daily. You can anticipate when hardship comes. It's like Jesus went out on the boat after working all day and a lot of excitement. And the storm came suddenly. Many of life's challenges come suddenly, like the storm did. And when the storm comes, that's a faith tester. You can't jump overboard. You can't turn on each other. You got to turn to the master of the ship, because these circumstances are so painful and so traumatic, and they are tests. But it is said, no test, no testimony.
Thank you very much.